Hi there, the unbelievable little cat of mine. She, sorry, I'm just gonna clean your eyes. No, wait, no, she doesn't want to. She wanted to sit exactly where I, obviously, where I, the table, where I had the camera here, so I had to move it. But then you see actually now it's wrinkly, but you see better how the this look like. Anyways, okay, we will draw two Romance Angel cards first, and you know, I don't know what to say. Hey, sweetie, yeah. Hey, baby. Oh. No, I'm not going to lit any candles, so you don't need to look at that. What? Okay. And then we'll move on to the next stage here. If I still have maybe she have played it away. No, here it is. This orange one, the next dimension, kind of symbolically. And yeah, but anyways, I will start. She get all excited when she even hear the matches, but I won't use them, honey. Hey, sweet. I'll just shuffle these now. I will take this away for a moment then. And then what? Here is for the feminine side. Oh, let's see if I even can. And for the male side, let's see. She's really concentrated here. Okay, we'll do it like this. And actually now I have something to drink here, so I won't cough all the time. Oh, I can keep them like this. Yeah, now I have a camera in another angle. And I'm sorry you see all the mess around here. How good is that? Yeah, and here is pen as well. Take that away. So let's see now. I'll just turn them. Wedding. Oh. This situation involves marriage. Woohoo. I'll read about that as well. And then we have the male side. Oh, this honeymoon, it always comes up. We really, really need to get away. Yeah, okay. Hey, can you be bored enough to leave? No, don't go onto the mic. No, stop. Stop it. She actually left. Not far though, so I will keep it like this. For now, yeah, I will read about wedding then, because we read already about the honeymoon the other day, so I will just read about the wedding card now for us. And oh, Percy Sledge passed on. I will put a song beneath. Let me wrap you in your warm and warm and tender love. I think that's a sweet song. Anyways. Yeah. This situation involves marriage. You drew this card because of an upcoming wedding, your own or someone else's. In my case, that must be someone else's for now. It comes to you because marriage plays a role in the answer to your question. For some people, this card could be a validation that you will get married and asks you to keep the faith and continue enjoying your life without worry about your future marital status. For others, this card signals that you'll meet a significant other at an upcoming wedding or experience something there that will lead to new romance for you. It can also represent your parents' marriage, but mine aren't and weren't ever. And the way it affected your feelings and beliefs about relationships. But it doesn't really have to be a marriage in that sense, I guess. Legally, I mean. In a few cases, this card asks you to look at your present and past marriages and review your feelings with the intention of healing your heart and your relationships. Perhaps it's time to enlist a marriage counselor to help you both sort out how you feel. And sometimes this card can signal the end of a marriage, in which case the angels support everyone involved as you come to an understanding about the experience and renew your heart's willingness to love. Maybe by going on a honeymoon here. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. So. Oh, yeah, okay, I had them there. I didn't know. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself. That's all I do here, actually. And my parents, my mother was 14 and my dad was 16 when they met, and then they got my brother when she was 17 and me when she was 19. So they were quite young. And I don't think, I don't know really if it was even a question, but they weren't ever. Actually, I didn't even call them mom and dad until like in Swedish then, but until I was grown up. It was like, I don't know when I started to do that, but it was when I moved from home and everything. Before then, we always said their names. I guess that's also related to, they never said go to mommy kind of or something. They called each other the names or yeah. So whatever. Anyways, so wedding seemed to, if you look at these cards, wedding then honeymoon, it used to be like that, don't it? Maybe I should keep this there. Maybe I should just have them here or here. I can have them here. And then, because this is just not so important, but symbolically the next stage here. And you can also say, actually, when it comes to these, if you would say that these would be chakras, then yeah, thank you so much for listening, whomever listening. I can't believe that you would listen to all these long videos, and if I at least was focused, but yeah, hope you can relax someone and so on and get something out of it. I feel really like, what, $1 million? No, but I feel really appreciated. Soon you will probably, whenever you would hear my voice, just scream, no. You will get so bored or like allergic if you hear something too much, maybe. But anyways, as for now, I'm very, very grateful, and I will try to keep this within an hour just to be caring about you as well. I just have the opposite problem. I have no problem in making long videos, but very problematic to keep them short. Some people try to make long videos, I've heard. I don't understand how that's hard. Oh, she's going to hunt for the birds. And yesterday I took her with me. I didn't go to the hockey game, and last day won this second matches or main game, or what you say, at least. But she was so playful, I thought I can't just leave her here, so I took her with me for a little while. Yeah, she's so curious. She didn't really like to get into the box though, but yeah, and it was like very calm, and we actually left and went home before the game started because it's quite loud. I mean, I wasn't at the game exactly. I don't know why I even share this now. You see, that's how it goes. Anyways, this can also, since this is the first here is the root chakra, or could be, I relate these things to the chakras, but I don't know if they are meant like that. But since there are 7 levels described, I think that could match that. But I think also this is like the tribe, or at least the group consciousness thing, although maybe based very much on control and fear, the first there. But if you think about the chakras in the feet, for example, or if it would be the deepest roots, and this is just me making things up, so don't really care about what I'm saying here, but that could be maybe that some people, speak about Lemuria and Atlantis and whatnot, but the matriarchal culture where it was just oneness with each other and with the nature and so on. I guess that's the oneness that I sometimes is tuned into. Maybe not. I mean, there is another more conscious oneness that comes ahead here, and I guess that's. I'm not sure of anything I'm saying now. I'm just thinking out loud. But I think that this next step we come to here, which is more going into the patriarchal structures with its, having power over something, gaining something for yourself, and so on. That is still going on, and the individualistic stage or state, or what you could say, that won't be lost. I mean, when we move towards a new kind of oneness, we will have that with us. We will not lose our identity or our feeling of ourselves. We will have that still and embrace the oneness with everything else, I think, as opposed to as it was in the tribal communities far back in time. So yeah, and some people talk about this being the divine feminine wakening up and so on, and maybe it is in that kind of way as well. When you go back, it would be, did I even read about the wedding? No, I didn't. I should. I don't think I did, or did I must, yeah, but no, I didn't. So yeah, the oneness of it all is very much so, but it's more of a balance between the feminine and the masculine. So it's both. Anything. Anyway, I was going to say. No, I started to cough anyway, although I have something to drink, I can't believe it. So let's see now. No, I did read it. Oh, what a memory I have. You see, it's very early here now. Or maybe I'm just, oh gosh, my memory. So, I won't read about it again, lucky you. So let's see, now I will move to this next stage then, that comes in when we have grown our courage here to step up to the authorities on that stage. So let's see. I have some, what was that? It was my other phone getting out of batteries, and also the computer doing strange stuff here. I will have to move on so I can get somewhere. So let's see now. I will move to this next stage then, that comes in when we have grown our courage here to step up to the authorities on that stage. So let's see. I have some, what was that? It was my other phone getting out of batteries, and also the computer doing strange stuff here. I will have to move on so I can get somewhere. And it's better when I have some sort of notes, because if I don't, you can go wherever. So, but that was the wrong kind of notes. Didn't help. But let's see now. Here's the second stage then. I so much want to lit the candle, but you won't see that anyway, because now it's put it there. The Buddha is where we're going to this enlightenment. Yeah. The second state here is like the reactive response, the all-knowing. And on this stage we need to start to ask ourselves, what is it that makes that person more capable to judge who is better than someone else? Because of, I can relate to guru complex or whatnot, but on this first level it's about survival, and here it's more about power. And this is what I guess Nietzsche then would refer to, but he thought that this state, what was all that was, I guess. The dimension we all live in some way, and interpreted everything everyone does as coming from this place. And I don't think that's the case, so, but and here still there is no doubt that God, so to speak, if we then call it God or however, whatever authority, have all the power still, and also jealously watches over it. And still we couldn't question it here, and we can't still here we can't look too closely at what God is doing, because it's seen as sacrilege. So he have all the rights and the power is his, kind of. So we are just to obey. So we shouldn't like jeopardize the saving, our souls getting saved just to get to know how let's say lightning would work, or thunder, or so on. We shouldn't really ask many questions at this level. But power is also cursed when it comes to people in this stage, related, because why I move back and forth between calling it God or someone in authority and such, or ourselves, is because God on every level is just a reflection on where we are at that stage. So it's both us and what we perceive as the divine. So power is also cursed because we also get feelings of guilt, and we may have to abandon love. To live there in the darkness, sleepless and afraid. So it can drive us mad, as it did with Nietzsche in the end. So maybe it wasn't that for him, but anyways. This God on this level is also dangerous, but not as dangerous as the one at stage 1. This is more of a civilized God that rules according to principles, not just randomly, So, and it's also more of a fair God in that sense. That's one of the principles, and rational and so on, but still organized within a system of norms. So, and this is a much more social version. More stability with laws and leadership in the society and so on. Not like like this one could also, the first one here could also, the punishment on this level, you couldn't even understand why or so on often, but here you understand them related to some laws and so on. You know why in advance that you will be punished for this or that. So And also judges in this level is considered to have gotten their power from God, so it's a divine power. So they feel that they have the right to use it on others, and that they have deserved their power. That's what they tell themselves, at least. And this reactive response that comes here is a biological need to fulfill the demands of the ego. And this reactive response is probably connected to the middle brain, which is in between the oldest animalistic structures, the reptile brain, and the rational part. So this is very much about our conscious identity, our personality. In other words, our ego. So, and this is nothing we then have to get rid of. It's just not in power when we move up through the scale. So, yeah, and we are born with this as well. We can't really get rid of it. So, yeah, and it's very much about how we are as persons as well. We are born with our personality, and also affected from molded by our environment, but we are a personality as well when we are born. So, but yeah, this is very much about the culture we are in many ways still, because it's like more to me, it's very much about more and more an appetite that can never be full, the never enough stuff. So, and that also leads to conflict with others' needs, because everyone wants more and more to themselves. So, yeah. But this is about discovering who we are. I just dot like this. I don't know. It's not relaxing to do that. Maybe I should actually use this. It's not relaxing either, but you don't have to see my choppy fingers anyway, so. I have a pink one also, which is more like universal love color than. I would take this one. Maybe this. It's actually not the same, almost the same color. No, you don't see it as the same color for you, but it's orange as well. Anyways, yeah, it's about discovering where I start and so on. It's a development that we can't avoid. We all, this not impulse, but this motivation or driving force, if you say, to get more and more, it's necessary to go through this phase as well. So, yeah, it's about needs, wishes, pain, and pleasure and so on, experienced as our own, with higher intensity. So, she's just so cute. My little Egyptian cat is laying there and being the most beautiful thing. And she have this, I don't know, her look is like, I can't explain it. Anyways, because with this raw power is violent, but this power that is achieved through honor is more like a subtle, through wanting to gain honor and so on, is more like a subtle kind of power. Compared to this level here is maybe steal and rape or whatnot, while on this level you won't accept that. You have no, you don't see past those kinds of behaviors which you would be blind to, or kind of try to be blind to it at this level. Here you don't accept that, so here you use laws instead of pure violence or power language like that. But still we still, as I said, we have this level there close by, so we could easily move back to that as well. So, but the power itself, then, it creates an addiction, you could say, to you get used to getting what you want if you have a lot of power. So then there is a temptation to not take others in consideration and their needs, because it's like, if you have the power, you also have the right to do whatever you want, sort of, or not whatever you want as in this, but much anyways. And to prevent this from happening, a new God is created here that is like the Almighty Judge who threatens to punish everyone who pass these laws, who behave like someone could do on this level, first level. Even the most powerful one, if he goes too far. So on this level, it's the ego and the personality that is developed. So yeah, and I don't know if this is for sure, but as I read about it, it's when we are about 2 years old, and that's maybe where many of us are in our spiritual development then, but still, no, we have come a bit further maybe, but that's when we start to have this awareness of power, this kind of power consciousness, you could say. It started to dawn on us, the power we have, and then we get also when, that's interesting. Someone who described someone's in remand centers behaving like it's also being in this very ego personality stage. Anyways, having those raged or nagging, trying to manipulate to get their will through and so on, testing the limits for their ego or their power. So here it's very much about the physical. That's the most important thing, the first level there. And both our own physical strength and so on. It's very focused on the physical overall. But here it's more about discovering exactly how far my ego can take me, sort of. Mine, and me and mine. So how far that will go. And the reason we develop further here on this, it's not that any of these are really bad in a universal sense, and we need these steps. But the reason we move away from them is because we never can feel satisfied really on these levels. There is a limit to the ego, and when we discover that and we feel that emptiness or the pain of that, we need to go further. So anyways, so yeah, and that's, as I said, it's not a bad, as well as it's not not bad when it comes to children's development. Parents don't want to totally what can you say, push down the children's or the child's sudden fascination for power, although we get irritated, because that's the natural development also in humanity and so on. Okay, I have to drink a bit here and see if it helps. And through this going too far with these things, from that is where balance comes. So that's really what we are moving towards, some sort of balance here, but not in a limited sense, but rather in a constantly growing sense, like that tree I drew. Or sorry. But you know, love is unlimited, so yeah. But we need to test our limits here, so because if we don't allow our ego, we will harm ourselves, and if we let it go too far, we will kind of lose track of what reality as well, or yeah, we will yeah, really. So, but still we will meet reality sooner or later anyways, even if we imagine ourselves being untouchable or whatnot. So okay. Yeah, and the ego doesn't automatically get what it wants. Parents say no. If you would talk about it as about children, then, or even more important, they have their own lives. So this ego cannot always have their time or attention on the child, and that can be very shocking to this little ego. When, for example, they get siblings or so on that will also want some part of their love and attention they previously had the right to. And that happens on various levels, not only with children. Then there's a competition. That is the drama on this stage. So also when it comes to coaches, for example, in sports, you have to listen to their decisions. Do you want to fight for your thing, sort of? But others have all the power, so you have to believe that if you do your best, then it will go the decision. So, hi there again. It stopped. So this will probably be longer than 1 hour then, because I probably will go on till this stops. I just need to show you my new shoes for some reason. I think they are cute. I really think. The universal peace, but color of the color of universal love. The pink ones, kind of like them. So anyways, so now I have shoes here on as well. Well, what was I saying now? The cat is deeply sleeping, but still, if I lit this candle, I think she will wake up, so I won't. I will keep the peace for a moment. Yeah, you have to trust that the coach then will give you right, sort of. Yeah. Now it's kind of look yellow to me, this, but it's, where is that? Yeah, here it is. I had a orange pen. Alright, so I will go on here and see if I can. And actually, maybe I should keep videos up. They are so very, very random and all kinds of stuff. But maybe if I keep them up, people will learn not to go into sugar addictions, because this is how the brain starts to go if you're deep into that. Yeah, and I also thought about Lisa Williams, or many mediums actually and psychics that I've heard of are pretty addicted to sugar. I wonder if there is a connection. Maybe it's just a connection of getting grounded or shut off the information and such. I don't know. But let's see if I keep, let's say, videos for a year. Hopefully I will look. Well, hopefully I will look better, but I will sound not like this random and confused. Anyways, I guess because I have so much clarity. You can't believe it, but I do have a lot of clarity within. But I can't get it out because it just moves in all directions. So. But I know from experience that when I am off of sugar for a long time, I get pretty clear also. from the outside, I think people experience me like pretty clear then. So yeah. Anyways. So if again about the coach theme here, if you have to hope that the coach knows how desperately you want to be picked out for the team, for example, or such. So we trust someone else kind of to make the judgment on this level, someone who knows who is the best and such, who is better than anyone else. It's like a competition thing all the time going on here. And here we have to study the rules of the games. It doesn't have to be sports then, but of the game of life, you say, and keep to the rules. While, yeah, also the ones in power need to have that perspective. So we can't just beat another person to get what we want or to get a place in the team. Sort of, as in the first level here, that would be the way, kind of. So, and the way we fit in here is by winning, and I meet people all the time. I mean, I don't mean to make myself sound as if I think I'm better. It's just that I get surprised because I don't have a lot of this. So when people try to win, and also when people get jealous, I meet that not maybe all the time now, but I've met it very, very much. Jealousy of the things that I have, and yeah, it's like competition going on for someone to win, and I usually let other people, if I see that they are in that game, at least before. Now I don't know for sure if I do, but before I usually let them win then, because for me it doesn't matter. I don't function like that much. I don't care. It's not what I value really or care about. So, but here winning is almost divine. So that's what we're constantly doing, finding ways to win in various levels of life. So that's the dogma. It's very simple. It's not so much of theological theories or complications. It's just winning is the thing here. So I'm just I was thinking about the Vikings now, but I guess they would be pretty much as well at this level with the violence, but still winning was like divine, I guess, at the time as well, and for some people now. But also the idea of the one who works the hardest to pressure themselves the hardest, get the greatest reward is like an idea on this level as well. And yeah, the situation we are in are always projected onto whatever we call God, and then we perceive it as a divine truth that comes from, that we experience then, but it's we who project it. So here we were forced to work hard on the first level, but on this next level, work is more, it's an honor more than something we have to do. We gain honor through our work. So it may seem contradictory to first. I mean, the thing that we were forced to do would be something we strive to do to gain honor in the next level, but that's how it goes, this process of development. So and the problem we have on each of these levels can't be solved on the step we are at. So we need to find a new attitude towards it, and that's when we change. Yeah. So we could say, I talk about words like dimension and whatnot, but you could say really that every level, or however you would, words you use here, is more of a perspective change. But you totally view the world in a different light when you, and also about enlightenment again. It's more like enlightening. You get, it lights up. Actually, on these steps it does, until the yellow one here at least get brighter and brighter. And that's very interesting in many ways, because the next step here really is a shift. These two are how can you say, they are very much to be in connection with negative feelings or struggles, while the ones that comes from after this is more of a joyous development. So anyways, yeah, on this level God appreciates work and competition and victory. It's very important here, and that is when it comes to, for example, Jesus, so different, because he really talks about that power doesn't have to do with what you achieve or work or planning or saving or collecting, or when we take those parts away, the ego falls apart when we take those things away. And that was probably what he was then talking about to help move us further. Yeah, we can use the ego to gain riches, or to start wars, or separate the strong from the weak, and so on. But that was the things that Jesus didn't want to support. So he kind of wanted the human wolves to live in peace with the sheeps. So, yeah. But here is a dilemma then for those who want to feel good and win at the same time on this level. So yeah. So anyway, on this level we find God through reverence, do you say? Reverence, as I said, reverence, and also to obey, as we needed to do as well at this level. But our reverence is almost like as in fear. It's very close, although it's not as much fear as in the first level. Still, we are very much ruled by fear here anyways, which people often, also when, especially maybe in New Age, let's say communities or so on, you probably have heard the expression of fear and love is like the two choices, sort of, and you can't, where there is love there can't be fear, and where there is fear there is no love, sort of. I don't think really that, but anyways, it's kind of true, you could say, maybe, although I believe that there can be a lot of love where there is fear as well. But anyways, when you come to the next level here, the love will be more of the things that shines through all of the next levels. more than, while here fear is what rules the game, you can say. And so, but here the old god here could just finish someone up with a lightning from the skies or so on, and also never to explain why. It just happened. In some way we made God angry and so on, so that's why bad things happened. But this new God here punishes according to the rule book. So and most of these rules are pretty sane. They are kind of there's another word for it. I can't kind of put the word. Anyways, yeah, reasonable sort of. To be against murder, stealing, lying, and so on. Decent rules, sort of. But this is still an almighty God on this level, so we don't have to. This one doesn't have to make sense in any way, still, and doesn't have to answer to or like explain why or so. Therefore we can't ask. We small humans sort of cannot question this divine God that we have projected on. But yeah, so but this attitude will change gradually. But as long as we have this reverence in a fearful way there, we blindly obey still at this level and doesn't question it. And on every level there is like hidden questions and doubts, and here is the doubt or the question we live with is can God really do what he threatens to do, is like the question we have in mind here. And this almighty, whomever it is in authority, have to make sure that no one is tempted to figure that out or to explore that. And that means you have to show his strength all the time, or yeah, whomever it is. So and therefore also those who do the right thing or follow the rules have to get substantial rewards, and the ones who do wrong have to experience the wrath or the anger of this God. So things that can't be tolerated here is like it's even thoughts you can't what are the words for that then? Well, never mind, because I don't I can't find the English word for it, but you know, like treasons, sort of those kinds of thoughts, or to speak badly about this one, or pride is one, and so on, and the other things that I said, like stealing, raping, and so on. But yeah, and the reason we obey, as I said, is because we fear the punishment, and that's why. Although we may not have experienced any punishment in reality here, we interpret like diseases, or when work doesn't go well, businesses and so on, or if someone we love dies or so on, we can experience it as, or on this level we think about it as punishments, or at least reflections, so that keeps us in check, sort of keep us obeying, because we fear what would happen otherwise. It's a little bit like children can have those magical thinking things, the way we interpret it on this level. Yeah. And good and evil on this level is to get what you want. And if you obey, then you get the reward, so you get what you want. And that's what the ego wants on this level. You want to win and you want what you want, so to speak. Yeah. But on this level also the God can start to listen to prayers, not hear the God just did whatever it wanted or he wanted. But yeah. So, and also, by the way, I think I should do this not in the morning because I cough a lot more then, so I will do it later on the day, but then there is much more risk of the phone ringing and stuff like that, but I can try to remember to turn it off or something. Anyways, and a lot of more sounds around as well, but there is always sounds in my videos or whatnot. Anyways, here it's easy to interpret the reward as the measurement of good and evil. So yeah, and sometimes it's not enough for everyone then. So and people want the same things. So and so therefore these social rules are needed, so we don't just take what we want. But in that case, when people want to win and be good at the same time on this level, the ego start to figure out how the ego can grow and still be good. And the way through just honesty or cooperation is seldom the solution, but here we start to manipulate. And the purpose of manipulation is to get what we want without getting the punishment or the dishonor of what we do, like it would be if we just took it. So if we manipulate to get something, we can still hold ourselves high, at least in others' regard and such. Also, if we manage to charm someone into something or so on, yeah, then they can't say that I stole it. Not even my own conscience can say that I did something wrong. So here, yeah. So that guilt is something that we fear also on this level. The guilt from our own consciousness, or conscious, what you say, and also that God sees and keep count, or account, what you say, over everything I do. So yeah. So those who are very, very manipulative, they really are ruled by their conscience, because otherwise they would just act or take what they wanted. But they kind of try to make it in a way that they can do it without feeling guilty for doing it. So, and they see what's right and wrong, but still they don't fully respect the difference. So yeah, so that's what's the difference between someone who manipulates and someone who just is a criminal or so on. Yeah. And God, of course, also on this level is very manipulative. Pressure people to feel guilty. To feel guilt, and that's the same tactics as in society, to pressure people to conform through various techniques, then to make people conform to what the majority would call good then. For example, by pulling away. So, hi there again. Let's just hope that this will be the last. I try. I mean, it will be just one part, but I've tried 3 times, this is the 3rd video I make now for this, and hopefully it's less confusing, more or less confusing. All right. So this is the step then. I was out with some friends now and at my favorite cafe, and there are so many things I want to talk about now, suddenly. Yeah, it's so interesting. We saw my mother's sister, for example, and it's so fun. I mean, things that can happen. It's just everyone should really write their own book or something about their, because all stories are so fantastic. But when it comes to my mom, her siblings, some siblings have been adopted away and so on. And every 10th year, when it's like when you get 40 or, and so on, when it's that special year, every time a sibling comes back, sort of seek her out, happens every time. How interesting is that? Yeah. And I don't see her a lot, so it was fun to just see a glimpse of her. I mean, I could have talked to her as well, but I didn't know. But anyways, never mind about that. So, yeah, and also we talked a whole lot about games. I mean, hockey, because tomorrow they will play here. It's the finals of hockey in Sweden, and I live just like a block from the arena, and my family, I mean, I kind of like hockey as well, but my family is crazy about it, so more than me. So anyways, they got tickets, so they will go. I won't, but yeah. And they will also go at the hopefully gold game where they also got tickets to. If our team win each match now, although they lost the first one, which was, I don't know what ever happened then, strange, but there were 5 Canadians in the other team. So there was much on it was a lot of discussions around things, winning stuff, related to this theme, kind of on that level of consciousness, because that can also be fun. I mean, power as well can make us feel very excited and uplifted and so on. Yeah. Oh, I wish you could, but you could actually. I could show you. It's pretty. I don't know if you see, even if I show you well, but I will try to. I'll try to show you outside here without showing too much of my. Here is I have things hanging in my roof, but anyways, no, you can't see really there is quite beautiful outside. You don't see the clouds and the hills there, pretty beautiful. So, and here I have it in the roof here, as well as in my ring there. Pentacle. Anyways, never mind. I don't know why ever I did that. How can I even get you back now without screwing things up? Yeah. I guess it was okay. So, anyways, it's just quite fun, although, I don't know, I don't follow hockey like that. I mean, I know that it's Stanley Cup, and I don't know really if they have I don't think they have Canadian Cup anymore, do they? Anyways, the Russian League, our former captain in this team, Jamie Eriksson, he's in the. This is so uninteresting, but still we're talking about it a lot. He's in the St. Petersburg team there, meeting whatever they are called, where we also have one from our little town, Möller, who plays there in the finals now. And in the semi-finals they were the St. Petersburg, where they lost for 3 matches or games, and then they took it all. So that was quite well done to kind of turn it around like that. But I have not seen where you can. I would actually like to see those games. But I don't know, they don't show them on TV, so maybe I can find them somewhere on the net. If someone knows how to see the Russian league for free here on the net or so, let me know. Anyways, now I will move on. The thing I was talking about, I don't really recall where I ended there. So I will just move on wherever I was. Yeah, it was about guilt, about how you can pull away to make others feel guilty, pressure people to adapt onto the norm of what would be seen as good, which is a form of manipulation, but it's not considered like you force someone or so on, or violent and so. Yeah. So, but here on this level, maximum success is what we are driven by, and this is also sometimes very obvious in some spiritual communities and such. That's kind of, it's more about that maybe sometimes than about service. And yeah, it's about power, and not to, like, you don't have to now I continue to do like this, although it's not early in the morning. Well, you don't make any excuses for it. I mean, you're proud of the power you have. And also, it also have to do with optimism, as I said now, that, yeah, the power also lifts us up and makes us feel optimistic. So we are here to, like, you know, explore and conquer the world, sort of. Yeah. When we get more and more aware of the I, ourselves, become so intense, me, you know, or mine. We get, if you look at small kids as well, when they discover themselves like that, they get, like, really enthusiastic and happy. So ego gives some strength, although it often painful lessons follow on it. So and this is also a way we seek safety on all these levels as well, in various ways. And for example, in Buddhism, they think that the more we let our life revolve around I, me, or mine, the less secure we will feel, the more fear we will bring into our lives. So I don't know why I do this. It doesn't help really the story. Can make, like, hearts. I don't know. No, never mind. But yeah. But on this level, we want more and more, and success, you know. So it's a never-ending appetite for pleasure, power, sex, money. We never get full, sort of. We always want more and more and more, but more and more never make anyone happy. That's the thing. We discover after a while here. Instead, it leads to isolation, since when we get more than we even need, because the want will be never ending here. Well, we may want a lot, but we don't consider. Oh, what happens now? It's a computer again doing strange stuff. I'm so sorry. Still, I'm not really friendly with this. I long for my old computer. Not that I understood this is behaving strangely. Anyways, yeah, it's always when we take more than we need, and I mean, if it's just the ego's rules, there will never be enough. We will take more than we even want, but we don't understand it because on this superficial level we think that we want it. But still, it will be on the expense of someone else if we just take more and more. And also, our fear gets larger and larger because then when we have a whole lot, we start to fear to lose it, and so yeah, the cycle here is pretty. It doesn't go anywhere really. So, and also we start to probably identify ourselves with outer things, even other persons, but also things we have, or yeah. And when the more we start to identify ourselves with the things outside of ourselves, and that is one of the reasons with, for example, with guiding someone through cards or however, why I try to like push people back to themselves, sometimes without words, if I feel that they crave you, if you say. It's because this tendency to look from outside of yourself for the thing you think that you seek eventually just make you feel empty inwards. The more you stretch outwards and seek for it, the less you will understand that you already have it within, so it's just not helpful. So one thing you can do on this level is to just sit quietly and close your eyes for 10 minutes. And if you think that you are, for example, if you feel that, oh, I don't have any energy, if you try to do that, I won't do it with you now, I really would like to, but then I would like to turn the light on and then the cat would be disturbing, so I think I won't. But anyway, you can pause the video if you like and turn the timer. Yeah. So I will skip that part, but I could do it with you. Just be quiet for 10 minutes with you. I have no problems with that, although it may seem like it because I talk all the time, but I like to relax in silence. So, and it's not waste of time really, but still I want to do it. I don't think, no. If so, I just want to lit the candle. Anyways, if you feel restless in that situation, it's not that you have a lack of energy, but it's because if you feel like restless and that you want to jump up out of the chair and you can't find peace in that situation or in that time, then it is because you focus more on outer things, that you have organized your life around the outer things, the outer life, and almost no attention to the inner life. So the problem here, if you feel like that, is not that that you're lacking energy, is that you feel chaos. The inner life is not organized, although the outer life can seem very organized. So, and in my case, I guess it's the opposite. Not that my inner life is all that organized either, but more, I think. Yeah, and here we have focused so much attention to win and to be successful and all the things that is outside or around us. So we haven't even discovered what it is to have some order inside. We have all our life is about the outer things, so to expand in the outer sense. And from here, the challenge will be the inner expansion then. Because here, it becomes a lack of meaning. It's like an emptiness of meaning. And that's also why this God on this level will demand absolute faithfulness on this level, because to prevent those who believe in him, or whatever you would say, to look too deeply into themselves. Because then they will look through the need for those things and not be ruled from outside, or from the judgment that prevails on this level. So this is about when you have reached the limits of your ego, if you say, or experience it as too painful to keep going that path, then you need to repair or rather it's a question about repairing your outer life or your inner life. And as I said before, the ego is never satisfied, so it will never, you will never feel like, well, now I've reached it. Sort of, if you stay here, then if you develop inner qualities or focus on that part too, then you can find a balance here. But here it's very much about what you can achieve, what you can, what are the words for that? Well, goals. It's about achievements and being good in that sense. So, and the biggest weakness here is guilt, or to become a victim. So, and the satisfaction is very much to work and to be skillful and competent in whatever area it is. So, one, what can you say, blessing sometimes on this stage is that you drastically fail, because then you often break free from this dimension towards a higher step. As long as you think you still can succeed and keep that together and so on that in that outer sense, that can keep you locked on this level. So, but there are also dangers if you fail, because you tend to then maybe see yourself as a victim here, and then you can stay in that for a long time and not move further or inwards, so, and develop spiritually. So a failure, sort of what they call a failure on this level, can be really a blessing, which make you seek for deeper values than these. So, and if you fail here, you start to question, well, when now I have worked so hard, why am I not rewarded by the universe or God, what you would call it? And also you start to question if this God doesn't have the power to do it, or are you totally forgotten, or what? So, before these questions arise, then the God on this level is like perfect. As long as you are competent and are successful and can build more and more and get more and more, gain more and more success. But as soon as you start to question it, then that breaks apart a bit. And also the guilt still is there all the time. Even though you find the reward, it will be accompanied by the guilt, because you whatever you try to tell yourself, you at the same time know that it is on expense of someone else. If your ego go too far, you do know so somewhere. So so here is the level where you are like pulled between two forces. The pleasure of doing what you want, and the pain of being punished, which is in some sense pretty much like the first level, but also different from that. So, and to develop a conscious, I think that's the word, right? Yeah, interesting how close to consciousness it is. But anyways, in English, it's not so close in Swedish, the words. To develop that, those powers that pull in each direction need to be kind of equal. Then you find your own boundaries, sort of. Yeah. So you can, for example, take a cookie when it's right or when it's allowed. But, yeah. This is about the, in psychological terms, if you would believe in that. So that would be the, what would they call it? The over, not the over self. I don't know really what they would call it. Over me? No, not over me. I don't know. You know what I know? You know what I know. It's the self and the subconscious or so, and then there's the, what is called the above there, whatever it's called. It's like our internal, the one internally who sets the laws, so who like watches over the ego from above and punishes ourselves, and if we do wrong, kind of with the part of us that says what's allowed or not. And if this is very, very developed or very strong, then it can be very hard to find a reasonable attitude towards your conscious. Then you can get neurotic, like extremely perfectionistic in that sense. Yeah. Even small things can feel like huge, that you have done something terribly wrong, and the emotional limits or boundaries can be very rigid, and you can have a very, oh gosh, how I'm talking, but you can have a hard time forgiving yourself and others, or actually then self-love feels like it's out of reach really here. So yeah, here we seek the safety of clear laws really, and fool ourselves to put too much value in laws, and in a way that would harm, sooner or later harms our inner development. So, and here is also the level of addictions, very much. Yeah. Because when something is really satisfying, then you get full, there is an end to it. But when it comes to addiction as well, the more you have it, the more you want. It kind of just gives you more and more need, more and more emptiness. So, and there is never an end. Yeah. Yeah. So ego control and power is what it's about here. And this God as well on this level is this addictions or forms of addiction. This is he's never satisfied, no matter how much control he gains, sort of, if you would call it heathen and such. I like that expression. I think they have them in the 12 steps and such. One is too many and 1,000 never enough, you know. And here we also complain about the chaos, but at the same time we are blindly addicted to the drama. We need those hate loves up and downs, and the tensions and the suspicions and all kinds of things. We can't like be at peace with that things are good enough. Sort of, we never feel that on that level, that things are good enough. So we always feel the need for something else or something more. That something is always wrong. And also the idea of what if that happens or something will go bad and so on. It's very much related to this dimension. And perfectionism as well. Everything that is very compulsive is here. Absolutism, fanatism as well. So in a worldly sense, to have a perfect family, a perfect career, perfect home, and spiritually also to live perfectly pure life of some sort, or to please God, or what it is. So yeah, and as I've said before, here we don't realize the ironic truth that such a perfection would be dead. It like kills all spontaneity and so on. So life itself cannot be contained in a perfected state, sort of, in that sense. So it's not only to, some people here would then try to obey the law in each little detail, but when it goes totally overboard, the fanatic here will need to purify every thought and so on, and also be very compulsively focused on others' purity and so on. That's also very much here, and constantly attacking people's weaknesses and so on. So if you get stuck on this level, that's what we are about to do. Yeah. We lose contact with the purpose of spirituality, to liberate people and let them live innocently and in love. Instead we attack and so on. And we can only liberate ourselves from this step when we stop being so focused on law and this perfectionism and so on. And to do so we need to find an inner life. And to find an inner life, we cannot repress our own wishes. We cannot be just so judgmental towards ourselves. So we have to start to allow ourselves to be who we are without constantly kind of watching over our shoulder with this over me, then, as I call it. It's some other word really, but anyways. So yeah. So when we start to realize that life contains more than to try to be perfect, then our old sinful, what is the word for that? Desires start to pop up again. But here, when we move away from here, we start to see them as natural, not evil, and then the pathway is open to develop further. So, yeah, and it's experienced like a miracle when we turn inwards and let go of all these demands from the ego. Yeah, when it stops to rule us. So yeah, and when we are still at this level, good is to get what we want, and bad is everything that prevents us from getting what we want. So yeah. So but here we want success, power, influence, status, and so on. And that was also one thing I heard recently about status, that in the shift, if you would say, or in the ascension or enlightenment or enlightening that goes on, the status will become more and more how much love we have, more than anything else. or how loving we are, you could say. I don't think really how loving we are, because that's more on this level, but yeah, how much love we are, I guess. Anyways, yeah. And to hear also, it's very much about, since it's so much about achievements and such, so if we are very good at, let's say, sports, or have great control over our body in some way, or our minds, that's very much appreciated on this level. So sometimes that also is connected, I guess, to the law of attraction, the way it can be used sometimes, that if you focus your mind enough, then you are a successful one here as well. So I guess that law can be used in better ways, but sometimes it's stuck here or here, misinterpreted. Okay, I guess. So yeah, but this is much about working hard, keep going, no matter what, and so on. Because you think you are successful and the evolution moves forward as long as you move and work hard, and you gain better abilities, for example, when it comes to some either in the material world or in the mind. So yeah, so you get more and more confident in what you are, your abilities really. So, and here you also think that other people haven't really gotten it when they are not successful in life. You think that they haven't really understood what it's about, sort of, and that they may have greater need for, let's say, God or some spirituality and such, because they don't understand how to succeed. And on this level, as I said, success is much more important than inner development. So, and this is not a bad stage, as well as this is not a bad stage. It's just that it's about, well, it can create pain, but it's not, or each level does when we stretch it as wide as we can, sort of as much as we can. But it's more about priorities. So, and here there is a limit to how satisfied we can get, or rather we get less and less satisfied the more we get, so, which is a problem here. So yeah, but here it's very, very much to everything have its price, and not to waste your time or energy, because then you don't get much done in life, sort of. And yeah, this is very much about organizing your life to get the good out of it, and to have a purpose with everything you do, and be useful is very much the ambition here. So that you can you are allowed to rest with what you have achieved, sort of that kind of thinking. So on this level, many people don't have time to really think about what would come after, let's say, after this life or so. But sometimes maybe thoughts come up about if then God would judge us for the bad things we had to do or so. But mainly we don't have time for those kinds of questions. So on these levels are many leaders, and also skeptics are very much here. Those who question this level. Yeah. And here we are very sure of ourselves. We think we know it all, and also pretty independent in many ways. Yeah. And we demand kind of rational explanations. Here we didn't as much on this level before. Yeah, and we can get very angry and stubborn here. And the faith kind of is very much, although there can be connection to a religious or spiritual life as well here, it's very much a belief that we run the show ourselves, not God. And if this so-called God would demand us to obey, we wouldn't care about that, because secretly we believe that our power is greater than his or hers or so on. So we think, since this is the level of power, I can't explain it better, so yeah. So well, I think everything I said related to this level is really, really, I don't know, feels like it's, oh gosh, if you got something out of this, I get surprised, but yeah, maybe you do still, or maybe you just have fallen asleep, let's hope. I will just end this now, but yeah, it's hard when I don't even find the words for what I want to say. But now, after these two levels still, the next level is moving inwards. And from there, the development is much more fun, much less painful and less struggle. Although here it can be a lot of optimism, as I said, about this. When things work smoothly and we feel more and more powerful, more and more successful, then this feels like we are really on track and we got it all. And we understand so much more than even God, almost, So, but there may be a limit to it here if we, if we are focused on that. So, okay, I will just, I fall asleep myself almost now, so I just have to stop this. Much love to you, sweet ones, for your patience. It will be more fun now, the levels to come here. But yeah, maybe you got something from this that you didn't think about before, hopefully, in a good way. But yeah, and as I said, we all still have these things within. It's not that they are gone, although we, well, let's say ascend then, or what we would say. We still are, we still have an ego, we still have this reptile brain and so on. And in some situations we can move back to that so that it can rule our lives again. So, but it's good for us, less painful if it doesn't. So, but we all have to go through it and learn it to let go of it. So it's not that it's bad. It's not, there is no villain in this story or this development. It's just a process of evolution or so. Okay. Good night, sweethearts, or whatever I should say. Talk to you soon. Much love. You are lovable. You are loved. You are loving.